Pie in the Sky Media.
Three, two, one. Hello, Criminal Mischief Nation. Welcome to March. What did you learn about March when you were in elementary school, Carolyn? What was the little parable that you were taught? Do you remember? We
Okay,
Gen
well, what I
Xers?
loved about
No.
I
What were you
love
taught? March, because I'm a March birthday kid. Okay, and all I remember,
okay.
second, third,
Mm.
first grade, whatever, that March comes in like a lion and goes out like a
And out
lamb.
like a lamb.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I was too busy thinking about St. Patrick's Day.
Sure. Yeah. That's so. My
Yeah.
birthday is the day after. My birthday is the 18th. My little
Mm.
brother, from my dad's second marriage, who was born when I turned 21, but he was born at 11:59 p.m. on March 17th. We were a minute away from having the same birthday. Yeah.
Well, my son's birthday is March 19th.
There you go. Look at that. Bunch of
Yeah.
Pisces. Not that that means anything, but Pisces. Yeah.
Okay. Guess what I am?
A helicopter. I don't know. What are you talking about? Oh, like you're astronomical.
I'm an Aries.
You're what is? I don't know what that means. That can mean anything.
That's like the ram. That's like don't
No,
fuck
it's
around
not.
and
It
find
doesn't mean
out.
anything. Doesn't
Pete,
mean
you
anything.
brought it up.
You could
You
have
brought
told
it
me
up.
you were Sagittarius. I would have gone, oh, that
Okay,
makes sense.
I'm not. I am not even gonna do this because you're gaslighting me because you're the one that brought it up.
Our OBGYN who delivered both of my girls, there was a nurse at Cedar Sinai who was
Mhm.
into all of that astrology nonsense. And she said something
Mhm.
as she was exiting that the doctor heard when he was coming in. And and he goes, I don't want to crush any dreams here. I'm like, what? He goes, but listen, from when the astrological signs were first introduced hundreds and hundreds of years
Mhm.
ago, um, and when
Mhm.
all of the personality traits that they were imbued with back then, all right, he said,
Mhm.
the stars have shifted to the point where
Okay, stop.
all of the star signs now shift
Mhm.
four signs like more or four signs less. Like I don't even know. But he goes, so my kids were July babies, so they're both cancers, right? He goes, but they're not. Actually, if they were born today, I mean where the stars are today, the star charts, they'd be like Geminis or something. He goes, but you can't say that because it would just completely make the fake astrological world just implode. I love stuff
So
like
are you done? Are you done now?
that.
You've brought
March.
up the signs. You've brought up this your sign and now your daughter's signs. Okay.
March comes in
So
like a lion, goes out like a lamb. Do you know what
and
that
out
means?
like what?
Because I asked too, because I was like 8. I'm like, what does that mean between a lion and a lamb? Well, a lion's fierce, and the beginning of March is there's still the vestiges of winter, still like fucking things up,
Mm,
But then by the end of March,
mm.
it's calm and it's spring and it's like a lamb, I guess.
I know. I live in Seattle, so we have April showers bring May
Bring May
flowers.
flowers.
Okay.
There you go.
How's that? How's that
Yeah.
for you? How's
That's
that
a
for
good
you?
one too. That's a good one too. Yeah. Okay. All right. Great. How was your
Hmm.
week? How
Hmm.
is March so far treating you? All 2 days of it.
It's been really cold, but it's been really beautiful.
Mm.
Like today I went on a hike and I'm wearing my coat now because it's cold because it's dark time. But it was like I didn't have my jacket and it
Mm.
just felt freeing,
Oh,
you know, to
nice.
to to walk or to hike, to be outside without a jacket. There's just something about that,
Yeah.
you
Do you see
know.
what's been
I mean, I
happening in
love
LA? You see the LA weather this past week where it's been 90 degrees?
no, but you've been bragging about this weather. Okay, so 90's too hot for you.
Wait, it's too hot. It's too hot. February, March, it's too hot.
Yeah.
I got to deal with that shit all June, July, August, September, and into October. I don't need it now. Now is the
And is it like 90 to 100 or is it
No,
90
no, it
in
peaked
the
at
summertime?
90. It peaked at 90. But when you
No,
walk
but I'm talking
outside,
about in the summer. But I'm talking about in the summer.
Oh, in the summer, it's over 100. There's always a week or two where it's 100 plus.
Mm.
But you feel 90.
Okay.
You
So
feel every
now,
bit of 90 when you walk outside.
okay, so we're now it's just us talking because nobody's listening to us anymore
It's
based
true.
on this
It's true. It's just
conversation.
us. Yes,
Okay,
you're right.
because
You're
you
right.
scared them away with your weather talk and
It's
then
true.
your dismissal of astrology. So,
Yes,
okay.
also true.
But I am curious now that you have solar panels,
Oh, the
do,
best.
does okay, but does the air conditioning run off of the solar panels?
Everything runs
Energy
off the
from the
solar
solar
panels.
panels?
Everything. Yeah. Yeah.
Really, including the air conditioning.
Everything. Yeah. So uh this this past November was the first full
Mm,
year of having the solar panels on my house. And they
mhm.
generated 112% of the full energy usage for the house. Yeah.
Wow.
So we put 12% back into the
Wow.
grid. Yeah, got a rebate. Um, so and that's, like full AC in the summer, full, the furnace going in the winter. My wife's got an electric car, the sauna running, like all that. Yeah.
So the sun, everything ran.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, that's so
No,
cool.
so but now think about extrapolate that out. Not that you could extrapolate in, so forgive the redundancy. But if you apply that, what if every house, right, just because of the roof, and it's not even my full roof, there's still two-thirds of my roof. I could put more panels on it. Um, but if every house cleared just the trees away, so there's no shade over their house, and put solar panels, and we
Mm,
could produce more energy than we
mm.
use.
I know it's incredible. I
Like,
know
why aren't we?
that's why I was asking.
It's crazy.
That's
Yeah,
great.
it's crazy. We should all be doing
I
it.
love it. That's
We
so
should all be doing it.
cool. That's so
And with
cool.
the and with the and
I
with the
think that
the programs out there where you can get them for low cost, like no money down, and you
mm.
lease them for like a 40-year lease or whatever the mortgage is on your house, or it's totally worth it.
So I think we're trying to like comfort ourselves from this case because it's so sad.
Yeah, I know.
The wind up to
I know. It's the hubris
this trial.
it's the hubris that gets me. Like the question is, if she
Mm.
hadn't drawn attention to herself and written that book, like might she have gotten away with it? What do you think?
I think that's a really good question because
Yeah.
I thought that too. I was like, you know, that really sets your teeth on edge. And especially since she, like, in my notes, I wrote her dedication. Hold on, let me see. Her dedication to her husband,
Ugh.
dedicated to my amazing husband and a wonderful father. Like, I mean,
It's weird. It's like
is that not the definition of arrogance and hubris?
you go a little too far, right? A little too far.
I think that goes beyond a
No, but like you had
little.
to write the book, right? You had to write the book.
Well, let's break that down. Why do you think she wrote the book? Okay, first of all, let's just say she has not been convicted. This is Monday was the sixth day of her trial. She has
Right.
pleaded not guilty to the charges. And
Yes.
so, but if she was guilty and she hasn't been convicted, so, you know,
Right. But
why do you think she did that? Why do you think she did that?
I think that she thinks, all right, where my mind goes right away. It's
Mm,
it's very like it's like Edgar Allan Poe. It's the guilt that was driving her, and
mm,
she probably mistakenly thought that, like we all do, human ego, that everybody's thinking about us all the time when no one really gives a shit. And she's like, maybe if I do this, it will
mm,
deflect. People, well, of course she didn't do it because she wrote this beautiful book to help her kids cope with it. You know, it's like
mm.
over like protesting too much, the Shakespearean thing, like not to bring all of these dead poets up, but uh that's kind of what I think it is. And trying too hard, right? I was thinking about this when I was first dating my wife. Um, Maybe the second or third time I was invited to her parents' house for dinner, and Such an asshole. The oven, the built-in oven in her parents' kitchen, uh, one of the hinges on the door, a screw came loose. And I went, I could fix that, no problem. So I take the door. I'm the big shot, right? Because I know how to swing a hammer, and I get the screwdriver and I take the door off. And then I'm looking at it, and I'm like, man, there's years and years of grime and grease built up on the glass on the door of this oven. So I take the glass door off and I scrub it all down and it's perfectly clean and I save all the parts, and it's glass on steel. So there are these little rubber bushings between the steel and the glass so the glass doesn't break, right? And I put them all on and I'm just feeling so great about myself. And then the last screw going in, the last screw, I knew it was tight enough, an extra quarter turn and whoosh, the whole glass just fucking shatters. And I'm sitting there, like, oh my God. And I just felt like such an asshole. I did a little bit too much, did too much.
Mm,
And
mhm.
that was a lesson. And then, but my wife's late father was a comedy writer in Hollywood and he was hilarious. He called me the next day. He said, "Hey, Brandon, could you come up? Our refrigerator's working a little too well. I was hoping maybe you could handle that for me."
I love that
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
That
And
that
he called me
was perfect.
Brian. He called me Brian till the day he died, too. Just as a little joke. Yeah. But
Like
so anyway,
always. Wait a second. Like always.
always on my wedding day, Brian, congratulations. Yeah. He made a speech. He made a speech at my wedding, and his opening line was, "I want to welcome everybody. I understand that there are a lot of people here from New Jersey, so I'll speak slowly."
This is your father-in-law. This
Yeah.
is a perfect match.
Yeah, he was a great guy. He was a great guy. But he smoked for a long time and died of COPD. Don't smoke, people. Don't
Hmm.
smoke. So
Hmm.
anyway, but
Okay,
about
but
that,
hold
I
on one second.
yeah,
Let me just say, does that change with the guilt piece that you were talking about when these were the first memes? So her phone has been accessed, and that's something that was, in the trial today. They were, they did the data dump, and her phone accessed three memes around 8:30 a.m. the morning that he died, right after emergency responders left the home. The memes included one with Donald Trump saying, "I'm really rich." One with a man that said, "Idiots, idiots everywhere," and another with a woman using money to wipe away her tears. So, does that change what you just said, what you just thought?
no, no, I think that dovetails with it nicely because she probably knew that was on her phone and that digital things don't die. And so maybe I need to make up for this and,
Mm,
write a children's book about grief.
mm,
I think it's just doing too much. I mean, we've talked about this so many times that you keep your mouth shut, you get away with shit.
hmm
Don't draw attention to yourself. Don't give anybody a reason to take a little bit of a harder look at what you got going on. If you're doing something wrong, you know, the
hmm
last thing you want to
hmm
do is draw attention to yourself, in my opinion. But so, and wasn't there didn't she bought like fentanyl from like the housekeeper, correct? Was that
Yeah,
this case?
yeah,
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. She brought
And she's
and
testifying, right?
And she's testified the housekeeper testified last week, but there's like some doubt there because, it seems like there could have been some coaching with investigators. It's really how you choose the lens with which you want to see her and how the jury. It's not really how
Did
we see her, it's how does the jury see her.
did the husband die of fentanyl poisoning? Is that his cause of death?
5 times the
Of
the dose
fentanyl.
required. Yeah, of fentanyl street.
And did she buy street fentanyl from the housekeeper?
Well, that's what the prosecution is alleging. Yeah, but then the drug dealer that sold it to the housekeeper kind of walked it back in his testimony saying, I don't really remember selling fentanyl and I wasn't so there is some kind of question there. And that's what the defense is their strategy is to try to poke holes and that the housekeeper was also, doing drugs and her memory, they're trying to be like, how much do you really remember? Even though there was like,
Sure,
so,
yeah, it's tough to
you
put
know,
drug dealers and drug users on the stand and expect the jury to give them any kind of credibility, unfortunately, you know.
well, I think that, with the lens of how do them going in with their biases and then as they watch her and what do they think about her and I mean that's the whole thing about like what's the jury thinking, because a lot of times they've already made up their mind, during the opening statement.
Yeah, there's
She's
some,
wearing like
what was that
super,
statistic?
it was like 80%.
Wow.
And then, that's why they all wear like the prim and proper clothes, like, and it's like, because it's like they you want to appear, it's like Jodi Arias when she was on trial and she was wearing, she was like,
Gosh,
you know had sexualized herself, which is
what
fine
a
if that's what,
lunatic.
what I'm not judging her for that. I'm just saying her look was way different when she was like way different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
opposite with
Hmm.
the woman with the unpronounceable last name from the Brendan Banfield case, she had a very different look when she got to trial also.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
she did.
She wasn't trying to
Yeah.
be the like I'm the
Yeah.
sexy
I
nanny.
mean that's
What's that?
absolutely
Yeah,
not.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I said absolutely not.
No, so there's probably
Yeah.
coaching all around. I
But
don't, yeah, I don't know who would tell Jodi Arias go to try to be like a sex kitten up on the stand, but that was just weird.
what do you mean?
Just what does that accomplish? Is she trying to seduce the jurors or something?
Well, she wasn't a sex kitten on the stand. She was wearing like turtlenecks and like
Oh, come on, like the Velma with the glasses and stuff. Come on, she knew what she was doing.
yeah, she was. She wasn't wearing her vampy stuff when she was on trial.
All
She
right.
was like
Oh,
she but it's like when you looked at her texts and to her, you know, remember those texts, and then you look at her like, um,
I know. I know.
it's just it's just and they know that they're going to show photos of them. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right,
Like
right, right.
like so it's like the huge I don't know. I just think that like as a juror, when you see that, what are you thinking? Like what would you be thinking if you saw all, all of Jodi Arias is like
I don't know. It's weird. It'd be like, I don't know. You know what? That's a really good question. Because
and it's not the same for men.
no, it's not. It's like
It's
it's a
not.
lesson in judging a book by its cover. Like, okay, here's this
Hmm.
prim and proper what she's projecting here from the stand,
Hmm.
but look at the text, and it's
I
smart.
think that you said that's a professional.
No, it's smart. It's just smart because it's do you want to play into, say you have a handful of people on the jury that are socially conscious and that are good people and understand the history of women being like slut shamed, or like shit that happened in the Shadow Girls that you covered so wonderfully, like how, so you're like, oh, I gotta be careful that I don't judge a woman for being sexually empowered. The whole Amanda
Hmm.
Knox thing that happened to her in Italy, right? Like there's a whole history of thinly veiled misogyny, or the Madonna whore complex, like all of that stuff that has just permeated our fucked up male-driven culture for thousands of years, And
Yeah,
so it could be a really smart strategy, a defense strategy.
I know, but to dress like that or to dress like she normally would.
Any way about it, just and any way to combat what they know is coming with those texts, you know? and
I
with the
just don't,
possibility of judgment.
I think that that puts a bias if you're, I mean, just being real as a juror, if I saw her, Jodi Arias, let's just use that as an
Yeah,
example with all those, or let's just use this case right now. Like she's having an affair
right.
and like she poisoned or allegedly poisoned her husband on Valentine's Day in a, with a, she left a sandwich on his truck, on its truck seat, and is like, see ya. She's going to meet her lover. And he's like downing a remember she that bottle of Benadryl
Yep.
and like, stabbing himself with an EpiPen. And he's like, I am messed up. I'm gonna go lay down. And he's like, if I don't get better, I'm laughing only because it's just insane.
It's
Like the
insane.
cruelty, if it's true.
And
To,
who was the beneficiary of the insurance policy?
well, she created he didn't, that's the thing. Remember with this case, he started getting after that. He was like, he called it. He was like, I think she's trying to poison me. And that's what made him start changing his will.
Yeah.
He did change his will. And he also put the house in his sister's name.
Yeah.
But like, why wouldn't you leave? We talked about this before. If you
No.
thought that your spouse was trying to kill you to the point where you're changing your life insurance, you're putting the house in your sister's name, like
But you
that's
stick around, what?
serious.
Because a divorce would financially ruin him, or you wouldn't see the. I mean, I don't know.
No, the opposite. That's another person who testified this week or today was basically his business partner. They had this successful stone cutting business, and the wives were friends, and obviously the husbands were, friends, and they would go on vacations together. And at one point, Corey had a conversation with the wife of the other co-owner, and
Yeah.
she basically said how she felt trapped and that if they got a divorce, the husband would get all the money, and that she felt like, the kids would probably want to go live with him because they had this lifestyle, and she obviously felt like she would be living in,
Hmm.
she would not be able to compete with what the husband had, and they had a prenup,
Right.
so
So what do you
and
think? Where do you land on this? You sound a little skeptical.
I'm not skeptical, but I feel like, when someone's on trial for murder, you don't want to hear that the police are coaxing, people to say
Right.
that like
Testimony. Yeah.
you have to, yeah, you have to think of yourself in that. And I think that like they played some testimony of the medical examiner, and because she had called them asking questions about, they did this extra test. So like right now, his death has been ruled as undetermined as
Right.
the the manner of death, so not homicide. And somebody could say, "Oh, it's a grieving wife calling to," like what would you do if someone that you loved, your spouse, passed away suddenly at 39, and wouldn't you want to know what was going on with them?
Yeah.
So somebody could read that as that's what she was doing, whereas other people could read like she wants to know. It's like the children's book. It's like she wants to know what they have, and she wants to know if she's getting away with this.
Yeah.
And she also did texts of like, where do rich people go to jail? So it's not like she was thinking she's going, yeah, that was like, it's not like she was thinking, I've got this,
No.
you know,
Huh.
you know.
Well, so what do you think happened?
So I think she's gonna be found guilty, but there's always that part of me that's like,
Just need one.
yeah. I mean, I feel like it needs to be fair.
Yeah.
It needs to be a fair thing. Um, yeah,
All right. Well, hey, listen, let's wrap this up. I got to put the kids to bed. But look,
yeah.
let's see what happens. How long are they expecting the trial to last as the
5 weeks.
Oh,
So this
wow.
is the beginning
Okay.
of the second week,
Okay.
and so we'll keep you posted.
All right. All right.
Mhm.
Fantastic. Well, nice job. Thank you for keeping us all up to date. Ripped from the headlines, people. There isn't
Mhm.
a fresher angle on this than you're getting right here from Carolyn
Mm.
Ossorio. So thank you for listening. If
Okay.
you like the episode, please share this with friend or someone else who's into true crime that maybe hasn't been made aware of our show. That's helps the show grow, and that's why we do this. So consider rating and reviewing, and make sure you're following in Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening right now. Until next time, Carolyn, anything you'd like to add?
Nope. We'll see you next time.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
From Pie in the Sky Media, Criminal Mischief is an EVO production, recorded live in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. We're produced by Brandon Morgan and myself, music by Soundstripe. For EVO Creative, I'm Carolyn Ossorio, your writer and host.